Hey everybody, it's Safi and Marco, Dish Out on Movies, the only movie review show on YouTube to review movies in terms of food. It's just Marco here once again. I am here to review Beavis and Butthead, Season 9, Episode 6. Okay, so... This wasn't very good, okay? This, after last week having a pretty good watered down, in fact, let's stop calling it Beavis and Butthead, in the same way that Better Call Saul turned into Better Call Kim. Let's start calling this Beavis and Butthead Light, or Beavis and Butthead Jr., because that's what this feels like. I could just imagine in the 80s or 90s when the show first started airing, I could just imagine, hey, let's make, parents are complaining about Beavis and Butthead because they're a bunch of uptight retards and they need to shut the fuck up and, let's just not care what they say. That's what I would have said. But also, let's make how about we make Beavis and Butthead for adults and we make it rated MA, TV MA, and then we have a Beavis and Butthead Jr., and it'll be like the same show, but, not the same show, and, kids will be able to watch it, and parents won't be able to complain about it, and, we can, it's very reminiscent of, how Tales from the Crypt had an animated show. How Garbage Pail Kids had that shitty-ass kids movie, and then the animated show. It's very much like that. This is such a watered-down... It feels like Beavis and Butthead got castrated. It's just not fun. This was a pretty dull episode. It was a pretty... boring affair. It was, and keep in mind, I'm very selective with what I watch. There's so many movies coming out that I, quote unquote, should be reviewing. So many TV shows that come out that I, quote unquote, should be reviewing. Lord of the Rings, Woke of Power, She Woke, all these shitty ass fucking shows that I quote-unquote should be reviewing. But I kind of prefer to just watch what I want to watch, which unfortunately that leads to a very slow channel growth, which is sad because YouTube, they like to hide smaller channels that only review certain things, and so it's really not beneficial to me. But so I really want to like the stuff that I watch. It's not like I want to hate Beavis and Butthead. It's not like I want to hate Better Call Saul. It's not like I want to hate, what's the newest movie? Temporary Suspicion. It's not like I wanted to hate Temporary Suspicion. I really want to like these things. And unfortunately, this episode was weak. It was another weak episode, and you can just tell everything they're going to do. I could probably do a review of these episodes without even watching them. That's how bad it is. It's like predictive AI Beavis and Butthead writing. I really don't feel the uniqueness of these episodes. They're just so bland and generic. It reminds me a lot of Saints Row 2022, which I am also suffering through right now. I'm trying to beat the game as fast as possible so that I can dispose of it and then wash my hands of the guilt of actually purchasing it and then giving it any sort of money whatsoever. I really shouldn't have. And so I apologize for that. It's just, I really wanted to play a Saints Row game. I really used to love the Saints Row series, and it's the same thing with Beavis and Butthead. This show used to be so good. What happened? Seriously, what the fuck happened. Like, I sat there this episode for most of the time with just this weirded out face, like, just, ugh. Like, it's like when you grow up and then you look back at pictures of yourself as a kid and you think about, oh, there was that one embarrassing time where I did that or that. Like, it's that type of feeling for me. Like, I just had such an awkward feeling watching this crap and then thinking about, oh yeah, I also have to go out and do a review where I trash it and I really tell the truth compared to all these other YouTubers who are just going to be like, it's funny, it's really good. Okay, there's my paycheck. Okay, time for the Lord of the Rings episode. Oh my god, that's so amazing. It's the greatest thing I've ever seen. Okay, what's the next product I need to consume? Oh, there's the new movie about the police, my police problem. Oh no. Oh my god, it was so sad. It was so amazing. It was a triumph. It was life-changing. Oh my god. Like, I'm never going to be like that ever. So if you're looking for that type of sellout fanboy fucking dumbass content, then get the fuck off this channel, okay? Because here we're going to talk about the truth. And another thing that I noticed, I got really, last Saturday, I was like, I for some reason, I was scrolling on Facebook and I saw the Beavis and Butthead official page, and I was thinking, what's the Beavis and Butthead page like? Are there any, truth tellers in there, like there are in my comments section? Are there any smart people in there? Are there any, like, what does the show think about these episodes? Like, what is the people behind the social media Beavis and Butthead group? Did they have any smart alecky comments that they make that are funny commentary on the show? And then I go on there and I see the biggest, if you guys ever want to participate in a fan group or any sort of just any sort of fandom group at all, the number one red flag is if you see a rule that says there will be no racism or sexism or bigotry in this group. You will be kicked out. We will not tolerate intolerance. Whenever you see that type of bullshit, which just means basically you're not allowed to make any fun of anybody except if they're white males, like the show likes to do now. If you ever see that in a fandom group, get the fuck out of there immediately, because that is the biggest red flag, and that has led to several of my getting kicked out of fan groups of just literally criticizing any character who isn't male or white. Like, any character. And for example, I really shouldn't, I should be talking about the episode, but I just want to give you an example to show you guys how fucked up these SJW fan groups are, okay? I was in a Team Wolf fan group back when the show first came out. I was a huge Team Wolf fan. I didn't want to like the show. I thought this is a stupid idea, but then I really loved the show a lot. I never finished it though because of just not really caring anymore after the show really went downhill in season 4. It became really, the stupid decisions they made. Season 3 was really good though, but season 4, anyway, there were these posts with these shitty shippers, and shippers are also a big red flag in any fandom. If you ever have a fandom group where you see people who are like, oh my god, I'm fantasizing right now about the two main straight characters having sex with each other, like, just get out of that fan group immediately, okay? In Teen Wolf, I saw these pornographic pictures of like gay porn with Teen Wolf actors posted, copy and pasted onto these faces, and I posted, ew, this is disgusting, get this off of here. There's kids in this group. This is a group quote unquote, for everybody. There's kids in here, and you're posting explicit gay pornography in this Teen Wolf group for everyone, quote unquote. And then what happens? I get kicked out of the group. Like, I'm literally just saying, like, why are you posting explicit pornography pictures? I don't care what type of porn it is. Why are you posting that stuff inside of a fandom group with kids in there and with teenagers? Because I was a teenager at the time. And so just think about how fucked up that is. That's the type of people who are fans of the new Beavis and Butthead. That's the type of people that we're dealing with here. This watered down, wimpy, bitch-made Beavis and Butthead. Okay, so let's get started. The first episode, it was like a C-. It was just really dull. It was called Virtual Stupidity, and basically what happens, Beavis and Butthead put on regular glasses, or regular sunglasses, thinking that they're virtual reality video game glasses, and then they start causing havoc with everybody except for women. Like, and I just thought this is really gay. This episode was really gay, like, in terms of how, like, you'd expect, like, there's got to be some interaction with a female character, right? Like, this episode was like a fucking sausage fest. Like, it was so gay. Like, first off, they go, and I literally don't care about that stuff. I don't care if, like, something has all men or all women. I don't care, but it just came off as really weird. Like, first, they go up to this booth, and there are two guys at the booth, and then a guy with the virtual reality glasses. And then they go up to another guy. And then they go up to another guy. And then they go outside and interact with other guys. And then they're in the hospital with other guys interacting with them. And I was like, what the hell? Why are we having... Like, if you're going to make a virtual reality video game episode, why don't you have some fucking bitches in there, man? Why do I have to sit through this sausage fest? Like, what the hell is this shit? This isn't fucking Beavis and Butthead. This is fucking trash. And oh god, you guys, they did have two, like, little funny moments. There was one where it was basically like a prank show type of video where people walk around the mall, you know, like Lofi, Kennel Joseph, you know, those types of pranksters, you know, they walk around, they sort of fuck with people, and then they leave or they get kicked out. It was literally like that, but with Beavis and Butthead Jr. And so they trip in a fountain, they're like, oh my god, this water in the fountain feels fake. And then they're like, whoa, there's a guy right there, and his butt looks real. And guys, this was a series low. This was a big series low point. Beavis goes up to the guy, and he squeezes and gropes his ass. And I thought, oh my god. This is what Beavis and Butthead has become. This is the kind of trash that they're doing now. Because, like, it would have been fine. Like, why didn't you have a girl on the other side and then they grope both of them? Like, why did it just have to be a guy? And I thought, you know what the reason is for all this shit? It's because they can't make fun of women. Because if you make fun of a woman, you're sexist. So they can't have any funny interactions with female characters anymore. Because if you do that, you're a sexist, or you're a misogynist, you know, you're any of the ists and the phobes that they like to throw around like they're fucking, I don't know, like anything, like fucking pieces of tree bark that you find on the ground, you just spread them around at people. Like, they're such meaningless terms now, too. Like, to call someone a sexist is basically like an everyday occurrence in our society. Our pussified, bitch-made society. And so, that was really gay. I gotta be honest, like, I was like, ugh. Like, that was my moment. Like, that was my moment where I seriously reevaluated the entire show. And I said, okay, this is fucking trash. And so basically what they're doing is they're rigging the system to where all the characters they make fun of are male. And then the female characters are all in the background because, they won't, quote-unquote, interact with Beavis and Butthead. And so the only interactions they're going to have are with male characters so that they can just make fun of men. Because that's the only group of people nowadays who it's acceptable to make fun of them, mock them, emasculate them, all that type of stuff. That's the truth. That's what happened on this episode. It was really weird. It was really bad. They had this interaction where they go up to a guy employee and he's offering like samples of blueberry somethings, and that, there's a little funny bit with him because they're like, ooh, he's an NPC. And I thought, see, that was almost pretty good. And then they go outside, they go outside and they try to kill each other. They try to throw themselves in front of a car so that they can die and restart the game. And it just immediately became like a really dumb joke where like they're mad at the guy for not killing them, and so they hit him a bunch of times, like just, okay, that's it. I'm giving this episode a D-. I'm not giving this a C-. This is fucking trash. It just wasn't a very good satire or parody of video games. Like, honestly, Saints Row, even though it's horrible F- dog shit, it did do a better job of satirizing and parodying GTA games. I mean, this was just terrible. It was terrible. It was lame. And then the music videos, or the quote-unquote online video commentaries that they're doing somehow on a TV, which is just another mind-boggling thing that we're just supposed to accept. All of them were trash in this episode. And they did the same thing that I said. They distracted from the video. They didn't talk about the video unless it happened to be about guys. And so with the first video, there was this guy that looked like a midlife crisis transgender. Like, he looked like and I say that because he was very reminiscent looking of the guy from the Dream Team, when the bald guy, when he like quits his job and becomes mentally ill. Like, that's what this guy looked like. And he's teaching you how to sing or have a good voice. And they started doing this like song about like beating your meat, and it was so lame. It was just so, this is weak. And then they had another, and so obviously they made fun of him a little bit. They said he probably has his wife, her dead body is in the closet somewhere or something. And it's like, so they made fun of him. And then they did this video where there was like a girl with glasses on, and they said she looks like a dumb person dressing up like a smart person. And so they made one little quick jab at her. And then right after that, they stopped talking about the video. They did. I'm telling you, it's a formula. It's the same old fucking formula over and over again with these fucking videos. And so then they talked about like DNA, like, what is DNA? I try not to jerk off at crime scenes. And then there were guys that came onto the scene. And so then they started making all sorts of fun with the guys. And they started joking around, what do firefighters even do besides sit around and play checkers? And so I was like, God, this is, it's so bad. It's just so bad. And then they had some other music video that looked horrible. It looked like a second grader made it on a fucking computer. It was like some sort of weird cartoon animation music video. And I can't even remember what they talked about with that one. Like, they didn't talk about the video, that's for sure. So I noticed in this episode, those are the key things with this new show. Make fun of men and not make fun of the music videos. Those are the two key things. And so if you like that stuff, you'll love this show. But if you like to see everyone get made fun of in every type of space, every type of person possible, you're not going to like this show, because they just don't have the balls anymore at Paramount Plus to actually make Beavis and Butthead. You know, they're too much. There's too much soy in Paramount Plus, Paramount Picture Studios. So they're going to make this watered down Beavis and Butthead Jr. And so the next episode part was called Locked Out, and it was just this stupid little, it didn't even feel like a full story. It just felt like the opening to a Malcolm in the Middle episode where they try to break through the window and then they both get their balls stabbed with the glass in the window. That was painful. You know, I have the thing where if I see someone get injured, or if I even think about pain or someone else's pain, I actually get like a really bad, discomforting, tingle sensation, like a pain. I get a stabbing pain in my dick every time I see that. And so this was really hard to watch for me, because as soon as that, I was like, oh, please don't. Like, I wanted to turn it off, like, because it was that hard to watch. And so I didn't like that. And then after that, they do this little stupid thing with Mr. Anderson where he pulls off the front of their house, and it's like, okay. And both episodes, though, this was another thing. Both episodes, the commonality between them was that both of them revolved around the characters being so retarded that they can't see what's right in front of them. The same thing with that raccoon episode where Mr. Anderson just shoots Beavis and Butthead with the bear spray. Even though he can see them, he can visibly see what's right in front of his face after he walks up to them. It was the same thing in this episode where Beavis and Butthead, they're literally standing at the VR glasses booth, and they're so retarded that they grab the sunglasses right next to them. And I really don't think they're that stupid, by the way. I really don't. Like, I think I give these characters more credit than the writers do. And so that's pretty sad. And then in the second episode part, Mr. Anderson, they tell him that these kids stole his chain and that they keyed his car. And you can literally see the chain is attached to the car from the door. And he then goes up to the car and he sees that there's no keying on the truck. There's no keying on the truck, and he doesn't see the chain attached to the truck. And so the fact that he didn't see the chain, and that he also didn't find it odd and suspicious that there was no keying on the truck, that was retarded. And so then he gets in the truck, he does the whole thing, it works, predictable. And that was funny, though. I do admit I did laugh at that. So I will give that. I can't even really call that one a story, though. Like, it was only like 7 minutes or 6 minutes. Like, it was very, very cut down. And it was very simplistic and just very, like, it was basically a time filler because the first part was so long. The first part was like 11 minutes. So I give the Locked Out, I give that one like a D+. I mean, I just didn't like how both episodes revolved around people not seeing what's right in front of them. Like, it's like, aren't there smarter ways to write these episodes? Like, aren't there smarter jokes that you could make? Aren't there funnier things that you could do than just, oh wow, Beavis talks about his schlong and about beating his meat. Butthead talks about doing Beavis's mom. Like, that's all they do now. It's just so lame. So anyways, I didn't like this episode. It sucked. I give the whole thing an F. It was not a good episode. And so please like this video, comment, tell me what you think, because I know that there are some people who would agree and that they would see what's right in front of them with this show. And that's another thing, is you could also really say that all the fanboys of this show, they can't see what's right in front of them. I know it's really hard, and I know it takes a bit of brain power to think about, why is it that in the first half, all they do the whole entire episode is make fun of men? Like, they have no... And it's like, why wouldn't you want to have some good jokes with, like, some women walking around the mall? Why wouldn't you want to have Daria in the episode? Like, why is it just all about making fun of men? It's really weird. It's really, really weird. I mean, is this what the show's going to be? Because if this is what the show's going to be, I don't want to be a part of it. I'll go watch something with chicks, okay? Like, I'll go watch... What's a good show with a hot chick? Not really anything nowadays. Well, I'll go watch Beverly Hillbillies, which I've been starting to watch. I've been starting to watch that because I am devoting a year to a certain actress who appeared in season 2. I am devoting a year to reviewing everything she ever did. And so I do really like Beverly Hillbillies. I would give every episode of that an A+ so far. So I would highly recommend, just go watch Beverly Hillbillies. They female characters, they had main female characters in that show. The show starred women, and it was so much more progressive than nowadays with the sausage fest Beavis and Butthead. And then please subscribe to this channel if you'd like to see more honest reviews about Beavis and Butthead Reboot, and not the same old fanboy, dick-sucking bullshit. So goodbye, everybody. See you soon.